Hey, it's me, your girl, Sammy Chesky, and I've never done a speed paint before, but I've decided to attempt it. So here I am drawing my Dungeons & Dragons character, Lorelei Sartris, who is an elf, ranger, and bard. The only thing about speed paint I realized is that you can see all of my mistakes, so just ignore those. This was my first time really trying to draw her. I'm not really one that can do original characters. I'm usually more about drawing something I'm extremely interested in or passionate about, so I usually always just do fan art. So this is my first time actually trying something original, and I actually am very proud of how it came out. And I'm actually happy I did a speed paint of this because it is just something I found interesting myself to watch over. To me, it's really nice to see how I do some certain things because I tend to forget. So it was really nice to actually record this and see what happens. Anyway, not only am I going to point out my stupid mistakes while I talk, I'm going to be talking about other stuff today. Random stories, talking about Dungeons & Dragons, interests, all those cool things, because I don't know, I feel like with the speed paint it's cool to have a story with it rather it just be empty. So right now I'm just going to continue talking about Dungeons & Dragons a bit, and then we'll see what happens later on. I don't have a script for this, I'm just kind of talking and enjoying my life. So I started playing Dungeons & Dragons like last year, I think, and I started with this character named Lorelei Sartris because she, her name came from Gilmore Girls because I really liked Lorelei. And then Sartris, I just got that from a name generator. And I don't know why, I've always liked bows and arrows and archery and stuff, so I decided to make her a ranger. But I also really wanted her to be a bard as well because I really like the whole entertainer type of thing. And her kind of backstory is that she always wanted to be in the circus, and she's not one for anything else besides attention and, excuse me, I just had food. Anyway, she's not really one for much else. She just wants attention, but her flaw is kind of like, whether it's good or bad, she just really wants the attention for it. And so that's where her bard comes in. She likes entertaining and everything, but once again, it's just difficult for her since she's also trying to do like missions and such, but can get distracted when she wants to do something else like perform or sing or dance. She also has a pet lion named Willis, but his animal name is actually Silo, which is just Willis backwards. But her cat Willis is actually like life linked with her. I don't know how to call it, but the lion is linked with her, so then if the lion dies, she dies. If she dies, the lion dies, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. And she is 137 years old, and Willis is like 135, I think. And so it's just this cool little storyline, and I really enjoyed her. And one of the things that I kind of found out why I'm not good at drawing original characters, it was actually a question I asked Hyojin, or Squizzy, on Twitch when she was drawing, is that I'm usually drawing fan art because it's something I'm really passionate about. Is there any way help to help me get over that? And she was saying it's probably because I'm not that interested in my characters. So what I did was kind of think a lot more into her, and I decided to really get into what I imagined her to look like, how I want her personality to be, and then I kind of found more interest in her, and so that's how I found kind of found myself to end up drawing her. So I really ended up finding a way to get more attached to her and more interested in her. So this was really impressive to me personally. It meant a lot to me, especially since I've always had the idea of what she looked like in my head, but I never actually drew her. So that was kind of dope to actually get into it and actually have the want to do it. Another thing is she is also royalty, and I kind of make her eyes a bluish green because her father I have made up is Legolas from Lord of the Rings, because I don't know, I thought that was a cool idea. Let me be. So I made her dad Legolas, and so she's like a ranger in that way, and so which makes her like kind of royalty in a way. But she kind of left because she wanted to be in the circus. So yeah, her whole thing is like, yeah, she's a good archer, she takes care of her cat very well, it's just she wants to be in the circus. Her and her cat know all these circus tricks and stuff, and so that's kind of her overall goal, but it's also kind of just she wants to be famous, she wants to be known, she wants people to know her name, and that's kind of why she enjoyed the circus, because, you know, then she'd get to travel around and people know her name. And so I just found a lot of interest in that kind of storyline, where she was just really into wanting to become famous, and she's kind of like full of herself, or if someone else kind of has her same interests or same abilities, like if she knows another bard, she tends to not like them because she feels like they're gonna steal her attention that belongs to her and such, which actually happened in my campaign once already, but they became friends anyway because he saved Willis's life. So that was a pretty good idea. Also, if you notice, there was this giant line that kind of stretched across. I don't know why that happens. Sometimes my tablet just decides, yeah, you're gonna be drawing across the entire canvas, and deal with it. But anyway, so what was I talking about? I remember talking about Willis. So basically, he's just a big part of her life. And so when the other bard saved his life, if I mentioned that Willis was in danger, I don't remember, but Willis was in danger and the other bard saved Willis's life, so then she decided she's okay with the dude, because Willis is kind of like her everything, which is also kind of a character flaw, because like everything is below Willis, everything she has, her everything is Willis, which kind of also is the part where even though she can have like fame or fortune or something like really powerful, if her most important thing will always still be Willis, everything is just for her cat. She loves her cat. So I mean, that I kind of put myself into, because I personally really love cats, so that was kind of like my thing that I added into her. Another thing is what I added into her is the whole bard thing. I like the whole like, oh yeah, I wanna entertain for my life, except I made her a bit more full of herself. And so this drawing I was actually like extremely interested in, and I haven't really been interested in a original character drawing in a long time. I don't even remember the last original character I drew, because I've always just been more interested in fan art, because it was of stuff that I preferred, I was more interested in, and I wanted to actually work more on. So it was just a lot harder for me to get into it, but then I started thinking about her character development, more about her background, her story, and everything, and then I kind of found the inspiration to try and draw her. And so now I've actually drawn her a second time after I recorded this video. I didn't record me drawing the other one, but it's been really fun to actually draw her and kind of create a visual of what I think. My only problem is when I draw her again, I have to remember facial features, like the ear, the eye colors. Her eyebrows are kind of thin, her nose is pointy. And so like I have to remember that and keep that in mind, like those are her facial features, this is what she looks like. And I always tried to put kind of her personality, well, I kind of tried to put her personality into her pose. I did find a pose like off Pinterest. I found a pose off of Pinterest, and so I kind of based it off of that, and then I kind of worked around it. I made her smiling because she's kind of like, yeah, this is cool. She has her bow without an arrow because I didn't want to draw the arrow, and part of me kind of feels like, yeah, she's just going to be posing for something anyway. She's not actually going to be in a battle in the end. But, you know, it was just really fun to draw and really fun to get into. I feel like she's just a really fun character to play as and to learn about and to draw in the end. Now, I don't have much else to talk about. I could probably think of more stories along the way throughout this story, or throughout this video. I keep making mistakes, but honestly, I don't feel like re-recording anything, so you're probably just gonna have to deal with it. Sorry, but this is my first speed paint, and I'm not actually sure how this works. I just felt like it'd be cool to kind of like have a little story behind everything. I do plan on doing more speed paints, and if you have interesting topics for me to look over or talk about during the next speed paint, let me know down in the comments. That would actually be pretty sweet. But until then, I just really wanted to get some background on who I was drawing, which was my Dungeons & Dragons character. And also here, I struggle a lot with the cape shading. I'd never really drawn capes before, so I had no idea how to shade this whatsoever. So it probably came out really bad in the end, but we're gonna ignore that because I tried my best. Shading is still something I'm really working on, and it was really fun practicing with her because it was different. And it wasn't something that I was necessarily used to, since I don't usually draw full bodies. I usually just do like shoulders up. So it was fun practice. It was just fun in general. I really liked drawing her, except there's a line from her body and through the bow, and I don't know if I ever erased that. Guess we'll find out together later on. The boots, I honestly didn't know how to draw, so they kind of probably look like super lame. But we'll just pretend I knew what I was doing there. Anyway, I was just, this was really fun for me. It was different, and I enjoyed it. And, oh, there we go. I erased it. I enjoyed it, and it was something different. And I really want to do more speed paints because it was really fun to do. It was really fun it's really fun to watch over, because then I know what I did previously, what I did before the process, and I don't know, it's fun to me. Also, if you haven't noticed, I did copy the color of her eye, because I tend to do eye colors as also the background color. Also, if you notice, I might have like messed up her name. I put Lorelei Sardis instead of Lorelei Sartris, but we'll forget that happened. See right there? It says Sardis. And then like I'm here and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. This is great. And then I realized what I did and I was like, oh shoot. But anyway, yeah, this is Lorelei Sartris, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and this little story time thing. If you like this, please leave it a like. If you didn't like it, please leave it a like. Comment down below suggestions of what I should talk about for other speed paints. And like always, adios muchachos.